All right, it's the midweek tweak. To our service members, thank you for your service. To our veterans, thank you as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at these charts, see where we're headed for the end of this week. And we got, as you can see, it had to run from down here at the support area and push all the way up to this 6926 to retest that 6920. So we have to see if it's going to have enough strength to come all the way from down here to get up through there, or if we're going to bounce off, come back, and then try to get through it as we're closer to it up here. Alright, so don't expect it to just exactly bust through from down here and go all the way up and bust through here and survive it. You know, it could possibly go all the way through, come back and find some support here and go through, but we'll have to see. That's a pretty big move from 66 to 69. That's about a $4,000 move through there. So we'll see how that works out. But kind of expect some little bit of resistance here, as it was resistance before. So we may be going heading into a little bit of a channel here, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But currently it looks like it wants to be bullish and go up through and continue higher and make another leg like this one. But we'll see what happens as time marches on. Next up is going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still trying to get back up through this 107 area, where it's been having trouble at 107.2220 or 107,220. It's having trouble getting through there, but it is trying to put in this bullish harami. But we'll have to see if that's actually a bullish harami. Usually it'll pull back and you get your bullish harami, then you push through. Kind of like that could be considered bullish harami there, except for this tail kind of gives me pause on calling it that, you know. But that looks kind of more like how one would look. Not that extended tail, more like that. And you can look those up on any, even Google bullish harami, and it'll show you how they look and where they're at in the point underneath. But the 200 hasn't really been. It did actually some support here, and then or not support, resistance here, and then support here. But this break here was a little bit different for that. So we'll see how the 200 plays out. It doesn't really seem to be acting like an overall resistance, but it is, you know, a significant behavior around it. We got the 8 and 13 coming through, and we got the 20 coming down acting as resistance. Now I hit the 20 and couldn't get through it, but it was a pretty long move trying to get up through that 20. Had to get through the 200, had to get through this support area, turn resistance, and you had to get through the 20. It's got the over 150 overhead, so it's got a lot of overhead for long once everything rolled over and started forcing it back up again. But to try to get in here right now and hope for it to go higher, I'd be a little bit leery of that and kind of hold off a little bit. But for the most part, it looks like it wants to try to push up through there and get higher. But it definitely is got a lot of overhead pressure coming in, and so I would be careful if I'm trying to go long on Bitcoin currently, because it looks like it has more pressure to the downside than up. But that's just current. All right, next up is oil, and oil came back doing this springboard thing here and is trying to bounce higher, but ran into a little bit of a problem on the 12th, and so we'll see how it opens up, if it wants to open up this next bar and go higher, or if it's going to continue to pull back into this 20-day support area. It is in a down market, so be careful with that. Green does not always go in a down market. Next up is Ethereum, and Ethereum looking like Bitcoin, and you can see here in Ethereum it's kind of obvious you have this overhead resistance coming in, and how it's been getting rejected by this. Which one is that? That looks like 13 SMA. So we'll see how Ethereum works, but it also looks like Bitcoin's chart. Next up is the gold, and gold put in two doji's, two indecision bars here the last 2 days. So we'll see what gold decides it want to do. We got the 20 underneath for some support. We got this support area here from the previous high, and so we'll see if that holds up. We can see here it support, and it broke it, and then went up resistance. So we're going to continue that as a support area. We'll probably change the color since it's no longer our high, the previous high. So just kind of look for this 20 to go flat and roll up, and then you'll know gold wants to continue going higher. Same thing, we got the 8 and 9 trying to catch up to help push it. So that bar was a lot when it came in. We left these moving averages pretty far behind, and so now we're trying to get this one to roll over and push higher, and have these catch up and push higher. And when gold wants to go back and retest this 4,396 area. Currently still in the bullish market. We got a 150 or 200 pointing up, nice and smooth, nice distance apart from each other. So I'd say gold is still wanting to go higher. Next up is the NASDAQ. Oh no, I'm sorry, natural gas. Natural gas is slowing down a little bit, but still trying to maintain its push higher. Has this huge window open up down here, so at some point we got to reconcile that. Then another window down here also. So net gas should continue running higher through the winter, and then as we get into the summertime, we might get a little bit of sell off coming back down here and shutting these windows. Next up is going to be the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ still trying to push higher. Got the support from the 20. As we know, it will respect the 20 at times. So it's kind of looking like that one there. So I'd say nat gas is going to continue to run. The NASDAQ looks like it wants to continue higher. Going to go retest this 26,399 most likely. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Just duplicate it. There you go. Alright, 26,399 is our retest. It's coming from a long distance back here, so I expect a little bit of rejection once it gets in here, then some pullback maybe into here for some support, maybe in here, and then push back to retest and maybe get through it. But NASDAQ is still bullish. Next up is silver, and silver, like gold, is continuing to go back to retest, and the same thing with this one. It's moving a long distance, so expect some rejection, pull back, and then bust through. Still in the bullish market on silver. Next up is the Dow, and the Dow still in the bullish market also. Put in a nice big green bar here. Good distance of travel it had to go also, so expect some resistance in this previous high where it got rejected. Same thing with this one, probably pull back into here and then retest and get through, or retest and fail. So we'll see how it plays out, but most likely we're going to get rejected up in here somewhere, get a pullback, and then bust through. As it is still also bullish. Waiting for the 150 to get above the 200 also, so still a little something going on here. It's kind of slow moving. Alright, next up is going to be corn, and corn is still trying to get through this $435 area. Keeps getting rejected by the by the 200 and this overhead resistance. And that's going to be it for the midweek tweak. Just keep an eye on the Bitcoin and the Dow. Silver looks like it's got some room to run. The Nasdaq's got some room to run. Natural gas looks like it may be losing some steam. Gold's got some room to run. And Ethereum got some overhead resistance. Oil got some room to run. Back up to 61 at least. But it's looking kind of weak right now. So we'll see how it opens up. Bitcoin, same as Ethereum, overhead resistance. And S&P has got a little bit of room to run, but I would be kind of leery with that one because it opened up this window here. And so it's kind of going to have to come back and close that window at some point before it can actually really take off and do what it wants to do. Alright, that's it. Alright, so that's our midweek tweak. Remember, the markets have some distance to travel to get to those most recent highs. So when it does, there's going to be some resistance waiting for you. So when it gets there, don't be scared. Be prepared. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and as always, be careful out there. These markets are crazy.